you have obviously been there for a ton of royal Christmases. So what is a typical royal Christmas agenda like?
There's no such thing as a typical royal Christmas. Every year is different. And, I spent 11 years with the royal family doing Christmas, doing New Year. And some of those were at Sandringham, some of those were at Windsor Castle, back in the day, pre-fire. It was always so much fun at Windsor Castle. The chefs would be walking around the kitchen singing "Working in a Windsor Wonderland," and it really was absolutely incredible. Sandringham, much smaller house, but still so much fun. We were in the kitchen. We were so much closer to the royal family, so they were in the kitchen all the time.
Oh my God, I love that.
Wow. Do you have any good little anecdotes from them popping into the kitchen at all?
We'd see them all the time. I remember William and Harry coming in the kitchen. Somebody had bought them pump-action water guns for Christmas. And of course, the royal family, German by descent, so they follow the tradition of opening gifts on Christmas Eve. And I remember the boys come running into the kitchen with these water guns, firing them at the chefs, and we got absolutely soaked. A few days later, we went into nearby King's Lynn and found, me and my chef friend, and we found the only 2 replica Uzi machine guns. Back in the day, there was no orange cap on the end. They looked real, battery operated. I mean, these are amazing. We bought them, raced back to Sandringham. We were going to get the boys, and we filled them with water, and it was getting dark, getting cold, and starting to rain. So we walked across the parking lot, and we knew we had to get in position to ambush them coming out of afternoon tea and going up to the nursery for bath and bed. And we got halfway across the parking lot at Sandringham, and we heard, "Freeze, armed police!" And this policeman came out of nowhere with a real gun. Oh. And he made us take these guns back to our room. We never got to shoot William and Harry with the water guns.
Oh my God, that's amazing. It would have been a good payback though. I mean, so who is usually on the royal guest list? I know that there is usually a lunch before they travel to Sandringham or Windsor, but when they get to where they're celebrating Christmas, who is on this royal guest list?
Yeah, so there's always a sort of lunch at Buckingham Palace, traditionally, and all the families would come together. The aunts and uncles, the Kents and the Gloucesters and so on. But then, when they go off to Sandringham, or when they went off to Sandringham previously, that was just smaller family. But, this year it's so much different. Of course, the Queen will be at Windsor. I was there, I think, I call it the glory years, and I don't mean it to sound like that. But, when I was there, Princess Diana was there, and the nursery was full. William, Harry, Beatrice, Eugenie, Zara and Peter. The nursery was full with all the kids running around, and it was so lively and noisy. We had 100 staff that were running around taking care of the family, and everyone was in such good spirits. And of course, you've got all the senior members of the royal family there too in the royal dining room.
So how far in advance do you start planning and preparing for the Christmas feasts in the royal households?
One of the things with cooking for the royal family is that they're very traditionalists. And so Christmas at Sandringham, or back in the day, Christmas at Windsor, meant that you were pretty much repeating orders from last year and the year before and the year before. They don't suddenly say, let's do roast goose instead this year. It's always a traditional turkey for lunch. It's always sort of pretty much the same vegetables, the Brussels sprouts with the chestnuts, the roast potatoes, and of course the plum pudding. The plum pudding is the one that takes the longest. We'd normally make the plum pudding at Buckingham Palace before we went off to Balmoral for the summer, so that it got a chance to sort of mature. And every now and again, we'd be feeding it with more brandy. And then the Christmas cakes too. We had to make the Christmas cakes in advance. So we'd have a royal Christmas cake, and then another Christmas cake for the nursery too, for everyone to eat up there. Christmas puddings. We'd actually clean out the sink in the kitchen, in the pastry kitchen, and then fill that with all the fruits and flour and everything else, and mix it all together, and then fill those pudding basins, those mason cash basins, and they were just incredible. Then steamed for a few hours.
Wow.
And then on the day, of course, that Christmas pudding went into the dining room, just before it went in with the palace steward carrying it, they would pour brandy over, and he would light it, and it would just flame, and there'd be a big round of applause from the royal family as the Christmas pudding went into the dining room.
Yeah. What about the kids' menu? Do they get like chicken fingers for Christmas, or do they...
No, they don't. This is the year, the time of year. And I think part of that is the nannies. I mean, the nannies were there saying, this is on my Christmas too. So we want a nice Christmas lunch. So it was the sage and onion stuffing and the sausages wrapped in bacon. They loved those in the nursery. We do so many of those. And then, of course, when all that was done, then they could have, chocolate desserts and then dig into those selection boxes.
Yeah. What did William and Harry love to do for Christmas? What were their favorites?
We didn't really see the boys that much, other than when they were chasing us with water guns in the kitchen. They were busy. They didn't have time for the chefs. They were in the upstairs in the nursery, playing with all the toys and things. Every now and again, different years, we'd see one or two of them out on new bicycles, and they'd be racing around the quadrangle at Sandringham.
Love that.
That's really nice. What are the decorations like at Sandringham?
When I was at Sandringham, the decorations were pretty basic. I thought that, they'd really go to town and it would just look like an incredible show home. But of course, they have that beautiful tree decorated. But in the dining room, there was like a 6-foot artificial silver tree with just a few ornaments on. Nothing over the top, nothing glamorous. And then on the sideboard, 2 Santa Claus stuffed with gifts that you would actually draw a number from and grab under and pull out a gift. It was just a real party atmosphere.
That's great. And I know that there's always been reports that they do gag gifts every single year. Have you witnessed any of these gag gifts, and who gives the best gifts around the holidays?
Unfortunately, no, I wasn't there, in the dining room when they were doing the gifts, but I did hear rumors of, spitting image slippers for the Queen and toilet seats that made noises. I'm not sure who they were for, but it was fun. They really had so much fun.
Wrapping it up, looking back, what was your favorite Christmas memory of all the times that you were working at the palace?
I think favorite Christmas memories, there were just so many. Preparing the Christmas cakes, preparing the chocolate Yule logs, seeing those turkeys in the ovens. And, it was just an incredible fun time to be there with them. Princess Diana coming into the kitchen and just, sitting on the table and chatting. The Queen wandering through with Princess Margaret watching me making pancakes. So many happy memories there. Christmas, New Year at Sandringham was absolutely amazing. Walking in the Windsor Wonderland.
Mm-hmm. Did any of them ever help you out in the kitchen at all?
Absolutely not. No, they had no time to do that. No, they didn't want to do that. It was more, of our moral when Prince Philip would go off out cooking, and that's when he liked to cook. So he'd go off to the lodges on the estate, and then he would cook. So it was more then. But at Sandringham, no, they were really busy. Once Christmas was out the way, then it was time to go shooting. So we were getting all those pheasant coming then. So we had all the game to cook.
Always busy, nonstop. Well, Darren, thank you so much for such great insight into the royal family Christmas. We really, really appreciate it. And we hope that you have a very nice holiday as well. Thank you.
Thank you. My pleasure. Happy holidays to you too.
All right. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much.